Okay, let's talk about the first variance and what I was sort of alluding to earlier on about this question of judging the sales team. And this judging the sales team really means that we want to compare what's actually happened with what we thought would happen. Now, so I'm just going to, these formulas are given to you, but I'm not going to start from here. These are just the formulas. So it's important to, yes, understand that. But then I'm going to carry on. So really what we're saying is that we might see a sales variance. We'll see a difference, but we're really saying that difference can be broken up into two parts. The fact that there's a relationship between price and volume. So the argument is you may have planned to sell something, but as a result, you may have typically, as we know, there's an inverse relationship between price and volume, that maybe you dropped the price and so you sold more. But the key point is, or maybe the sales team just worked harder with whatever price you set. So the argument is when it comes to reward, we want to be clear about how we've arrived at that good or bad sales variance that we're at. Now, the other important thing for your syllabus to really highlight about the sales variance is that ultimately we're really talking about a profit variance. We're really talking about the fact that profit has increased or not, or has fallen by a certain amount due to your decisions. So really, ultimately, it really is a profit variance from the point of view of sales. So let's kind of and we could, again, when I talk about profit, I really could be talking about profit or contribution. I'm going to focus on contribution. There is no real difference. When I say there's no real difference in terms of conceptually, because with profit we're just taking off the fixed overheads. With contribution, we're not including any fixed costs. So let me go to I'm going to go to, there's this, and I want to show you kind of what I'm talking about here. Actually, I'm going to use, so go to TYU1. I'm just jump straight into the material and use that as an example. So what am I saying here? I'm saying here that what we have here, have a look quickly at this. W Limited has budgeted sales, so they plan on selling 6,500 units. Okay, no problem. So here's the thing. Our first question here is, well, what is the contribution? What are we expecting on every unit? So we're expecting, we can sell each. Their argument is we're going to be able to sell each for £60. And therefore, the direct costs, if you like, are material, wages, and variable overheads. Right? I'm answering B. I could be answering A and it'll be 5, but it doesn't matter. I just want to stick with that. So what we have is 25 plus 8 is 33. 33 plus 4 is 37. So therefore the contribution is 23. So I'm expecting £23 on every unit. That's what I'm expecting here. Now here's the thing. If I sell, I don't know, an extra 10 units, the way things are, the plan was to sell 6,500. Well, whatever my contribution is, so if I do 23 times 6,500, that's what I'm expecting, whatever. Key point here is that whether I sell 10 units more, just as volume, well, I know that that's purely just 10 units times the 23, right? That's just the extra contribution that will come in, which is 230. And so, or if I sell 10 less, then of course it'll fall by 230. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the reason why you might have sold more or less volume is when we can analyze that. We can just focus on volume and ask that question. Why did you sell more or less in terms of volume? Was it effort? So what we would like to do is separate out that analysis of just focusing first on volume or whatever, focusing on price, and just keeping these two things separate so we can reward or we can see the effect or the relationship between these things. So I'm just going to go with this question first. It says that you plan to sell 6,500, but you sold 6,000. So going to the graph, the plan was you plan to sell 6,500 and you were going to make a contribution of £23 on each of them. So you were going to make 23 times 6,500. That was the plan, right? 23 times that. That's the area under this curve, if you like. But you sold 6,000. So you sold 500 units less. So those 500 units less that you sold, basically you have 500 times 23 less coming in. And we can calculate that. We can say 500 times 23, and that's 1,500. So you have less contribution coming in of 11,500. We can see that. That's so this curve literally has moved from here to here. Okay, great. Now, if I just go back a little, I'm also told that the actual selling price for the period was 61. So really, what's happened is that, well, you plan to sell it for 60, so selling it for 60 meant you'd have had contribution of 23. But if you now plan to sell it for 61, it means that technically, yeah, your new contribution is 24, right? Just one extra, one on top. So it means that you, although you have sold less, you have been able to sell it for 24, which is £1 extra on every unit that's come in. So your price variance, or when I say price variance, the extra coming in due to pricing, is pretty much 24 minus the 23, which is 1, times the number of units that were sold, 6,000. So you have £6,000 favorable, right? Because you sold for an extra pound, as opposed to here where you lost 11,500. So this is adverse and this is favorable. So what we now have is, we now see that you have 6,000 favorable in terms of price. So somehow someone thought, let's increase the price by £1. But unfortunately, that affected this situation so much by falling 500 units, even though you were able to sell each extra for £1. So yes, you made £6,000 extra, but you lost in terms of volume of 11,500. You only sold 6,000 instead of 6,500. So overall, your variance is, of course, 11,500 adverse minus the 6,000, which is 11,500 minus the 6,000, which is 5,500 adverse. I mean, again, like I say, you can test it. The plan was that you thought you were going to get 23 times 6,500. So if you thought you were going to get 23 times 6,500, and what you actually got was 24 times 6,000, let's look at that, right? 24 times 6,000 is 144,000, and 23 times 6,500 is 149,500. The difference between this and this is, of course, 5,500. What we have done is to break down and sort of argue or prove that the reason why you have this change is because you chose to increase the price by £1. I suspect, I don't know, probably. And as a result, you had a fall in demand of 500. I wouldn't say quality so much, because you were able to still increase the price. Maybe it was some reaction of sorts. And again, remember, I'm generalizing because, again, I'm assuming that all these units sell for exactly the same price. This is the same situation across the 6,000 units. So we don't quite know. I mean, of course, you could drill down. I'm assuming all the products are the same as well. So I think that's kind of the starting point. So this is the sales, what we could refer to as the sales variances. Right, price. And so coming back to this question of formulas, you can see here that I actually have here actual quantity, standard margin, actual margin. And you can see how the formulas build. That if I'm interested in volume variance, I'm going to say, well, actual quantity minus standard quantity times standard margin. And if I'm interested in the price variance, I'm going to say actual margin minus standard margin times actual quantity. And that's what you see when you look at the formulas. So I think it's good so you just know the origin that you're able to build back. And then, of course, you get faster and comfortable using your formulas. Great. So that's the sales variance.